Today we're going to talk about advocating for your needs on your fertility journey. I've got a few tips for you. I thought it might be really interesting or helpful even, to hear from someone that you should and can advocate for yourself on your fertility journey. Any search of the web is pretty much going to show you that in advocating for yourself, the number 1 and 2 tips are going to be trust that you deserve the help that you're seeking. Trust that you deserve support. Believe in yourself. I wholeheartedly believe that that's true, especially with any health issue, but especially with infertility. So often women and men go to specialists who can either find nothing wrong when there's something obviously wrong and not normal or right for you, or they go and they end up being feeling like a number instead of a person with feelings and issues that needs help. So there are going to be some tips coming up on how to advocate, but I think that one of the number 1 points I want to make is to trust yourself. Trust that you're the number 1 expert in your body and your health and what it feels like to be in your body and what's going on with you. And if someone that you go to see, any sort of health professional, no matter whether it's medical or natural, isn't willing to listen to you and give you time and help you try to figure out what's going on, it's time to probably think about getting support from someone else. It's not always easy. I know that we are restricted by insurance and restricted by the availability of healthcare providers where some of us live. So you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of working with a provider that you're working with if you're not quite comfortable with them. It's going to be different for everybody. But when it comes to your symptoms and your health concerns, never shut up until you get satisfaction. I'm serious. That is a direct quote from Dr. Aviva Raman, and I agree with her 100%. Let me say it again. When it comes to your symptoms and your health concerns, never shut up until you get satisfaction. I am serious. Again, that's from Dr. Aviva Raman. I agree 100%. But we also need to approach seeking support and addressing health concerns from a very adult, respectful, educated way, and schedule appointments properly and be persistent while being respectful. And that's going to be a little bit of a recurring theme through some of these tips that I'm going to share with you next. So when you're seeking support from a healthcare provider, whether it's medical or natural, a counselor, an herbalist, a midwife, a doula, whomever you choose, or all of those people, it's really important to be a client. Act like a client. Interview your practitioners. You can interview 3 or 4 medical doctors or OBGYNs or reproductive endocrinologists if you have that many available before you settle on just one. Ask them questions. Get a sense for how you feel with them in the room. Are you comfortable? Do you feel like you've known this person forever, or do you immediately get chills and this standoffish feeling as if there's been a wall put up, or like they're not, like you couldn't get along with that person? Pay attention and do the interview, go through the interview process. Do you feel comfortable? Ask for a referral. If you're working with a practitioner that you like, but who is not finding an issue when you know there is one, ask for a referral to someone else, a specialist. There are specialists in almost every area of health. Typically, a fertility specialist is a reproductive endocrinologist, but even a specialist could even be some sort of mental health practitioner, or if you're working with a family practice doctor, going to an OBGYN instead, and then working your way up. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals to a specialist or someone else who may be more familiar with the female anatomy or the male anatomy or fertility than the person that you're working with. Document what you feel and how you feel it. Before you go into an appointment, before you even decide to choose a doctor, make sure that you're journaling and keeping track of all of that's going on. It's time consuming, I get it. But if you're able to go into whomever you choose to work with all sorts of notes, it's really going to help them understand, or at least know what to test and know where to start. Help you try to figure out what's going on. We love, and part of our purpose, the majority of our purpose for being in business is educating. So educate yourself. Learn everything that you can about the issues that you're dealing with. Do your research. Try to find and go to reputable resources for information. Google Scholar will show you studies. I know that not everyone can read a study, And I know that not every study is 100% perfect and valid, but that's a really great source of information. People who are doctors who have a more natural approach to things, if that's your wish, would be a reputable resource. Clinics, fertility clinics that publish information about the clients that they see, those would be reputable resources. Your own doctor, if your own doctor is published. There are a number of books out there. One of them that comes to mind, I was just looking at today, Taking Charge of Your Fertility. Dr. Aviva Raman, whom I just referred to or quoted, has a text about women's health. There are all sorts of herbalists with texts. But anyway, fact check. Gather information to share that is reputable, accurate, factual. Here are places where you won't want to take information from to your doctor, because your doctor is probably going to say that's not reputable. Personal blogs. I understand that people need to share their personal story, and that is how they experienced something. And I get that blogs are a really healing thing for some people, and everyone wants to share the information that they can. But you have to be careful with personal blogs. Personal blogs, opinion pieces, or accounts of others' successes, they aren't really the best resources. So just be weary of those if you're going to be trying to educate yourself and then taking information into your doctor. That's another tip. You can, if you need to or want to, take studies and reports or books or things you learn into your doctor. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. So when you finally choose someone, and even in the process, ask questions. If your doctor or your specialist or whomever you work with explains something to you and you don't understand it, ask them to clarify or try to teach you in a way that you will understand. It's the very best thing that you can do for yourself, is understand what your doctor's trying to tell you about test results, about what you're dealing with, about what he or she is seeing, anything. It doesn't matter. If you don't understand, ask them to help you understand. That's super important. Making additional appointments. So when you've finally chosen your care team, for example, you probably have a OBGYN and a reproductive endocrinologist, and you're thinking about trying some herbs or natural therapies, so you've got an herbalist. And you're even thinking it down the road, and you've started to contact doulas or midwives. That's all fantastic. You may even have a counselor for emotional and mental health, and that's perfect too. As Dr. Ram says this too, and I'm just going to quote her again because it's perfect. Don't tack concerns about fatigue, brain fog, weight loss resistance, or other symptoms onto the end of an appointment for a pap smear or I think I have the flu visit. Schedule appointments specifically to discuss your current concerns, ideas, healthcare needs, requests. So if you're scheduling an appointment for a pap smear, expect to go in and have that done. Take care of it. And maybe have a little bit of time to talk more about anything surrounding that. Vaginal health, your period, maybe. If you go to that appointment and you're going to have your pap smear and you think you're going to have time and get adequate answers about your lack of sleep and your hot flashes and your excessive facial hair and how your toe hurts, that's probably not going to happen. Doctors are scheduled back to back to back to back. Most doctors are throughout the entire day, and they make time for the event scheduled. That's why most schedulers will ask you when you call in to make an appointment, what is this about? So expect to have to make additional appointments for additional concerns. That's just probably the way it's going to be on this journey particularly. Another tip, try not to fixate on one single solution. Medicine has its limits. Natural therapies have their limits. While you may need a medication to cure an infection or a medical procedure to help you through a particular fertility health issue, for example, blocked fallopian tubes or severe endometriosis or whatever, there are multiple different fertility health issues that could be addressed by medicine. There may also be ways to support the body's ability to return to health and balance naturally. And there are times when natural therapies alone aren't probably all that you're going to need to consider to get your body back to health. So try not to, in all of your research and all of your educating yourself, settle on this one solution, because there may not be just one solution for you. It's a journey, and a journey isn't there isn't a start and stop point usually. It takes a while. Journeys are kind of long most of the time. So think of this as a journey. And I completely understand wanting results quickly, and I completely understand feeling like you're aging and don't have time and all of that. But just expect that there are multiple paths to almost all of the different outcomes that people want and desire. Again, I'm going to say that it's perfectly acceptable and okay to enlist the help of professionals across the board, medical, natural, mental, and beyond. Pregnancy support, it's completely okay to have a team. It's actually probably a good idea to have a team. You've just got to make sure that they're all on the same page and that they all know all that you want to do and your goals and, the results of testing from between one or the other, all that you're taking. So many people don't admit or divulge to their medical doctors all of the herbs and natural therapies they're taking, and that's not wise. Your entire team needs to know all of the same information. Keep that in mind. Ultimately, it's really important to be a kind client. You can be firm, but you can be patient. You can express your wants and needs, but you also need to be open to the thoughts and ideas and the wants and needs of the people that you're choosing to work with you. They are experts. Hopefully you've chosen someone that really resonates with you and that feels right, and trust that they're experts and they have their way of doing things and they have their knowledge, their scope of knowledge. So be open to that. Be open to what they have to share. Try not to expect immediate results in one meeting or one appointment. Like I talked about earlier, you're probably going to need multiple appointments. And results take time. Change takes time. The body needs time to heal. There can be setbacks, and then that adds a little bit more time. And that's all completely normal and things that you can't really beat yourself up about, but you should realize are necessary, or that time is necessary, or that you may need some extra time. Sometimes it can take many conversations or interviews of practitioners in order to make a change in practitioner. If it's okay to change too, if you're not getting the results that you want from the person you're working with, it's okay to make change if you can. And it certainly does take time to create a fertility health program and bring your body back to optimal health. So just keep that all in mind as you are working on creating that team for yourself, as you're advocating for yourself because you deserve it. You really do deserve results and to have a team of people that listen to you and care. But you got to do a little bit of work to help us as we try to help you. I hope that was helpful. I know that many of you are well into this journey and probably have gone through all of these steps already and perhaps are set with the care team that you already have. But if you're not, know that you can make change. It's okay. And know that we have a team of women who are willing to help and be a part of your team if you want that. We all have a variety of different job capacities, from just getting you information in that education phase of what you're doing to working one-on-one with you to create a natural fertility program through our fertility consultations program. So reach out to us if you are interested in having someone with a more natural approach to fertility health on your side. All right, thanks everyone for joining. You're very welcome for this talk today and for all the help. And I guess that's all I have. We'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye.